Enterprise, there's a giant reptilian monster coming after me, and Okay, look, he's listing like a 1950s zombie movie. I think I'll be okay. Look, no rush. I'll just walk at a generally brisk pace and I'll be fine. Sure. Okay. Love you too. The Gorn were introduced in 1966 in the episode Arena of the original series. Now, by today's standards, these are Doctor Who level rubbery monsters. Reptilian, clearly intelligent, but also not intelligent. We don't actually learn much about them at all, other than it's a really cool lizard monster fighting Captain Kirk. Really slowly, like amazingly slowly. Like even I'm thinking while I'm watching Arena, why is this such a huge thing? They are cool though, like a reptilian in Tarzan leotards. But in the episode, it just keeps coming. It's kind of like a zombie, actually very zombie-ish. I'm gathering because it's reptilian, they kind of went through, they're reptilian, so they're probably a bit slower, which isn't much of a threat at all. But one of the most memorable episodes of Star Trek for a lot of fans from the 60s. I personally love this episode, even though it is slow. I love seeing Vasquez rocks. I love seeing William Shatner get his shirt cut. I love him making a cannon out of bamboo and gunpowder. Just some really weird choices, but I kind of get why they're cool. The next time we see the Gorn isn't for years. I'd say about 30 to 35 years, when we go to Star Trek Enterprise Season 4 in the Mirror Darkly Part 1 and 2, and we get our first CGI Gorn. Still wearing the loincloth, but a bit more physically imposing, a bit more not human in a suit looking, obviously, who fights with Mirror Universe Captain Archer, looking really, really sort of tough and strong and clearly intelligent, talking to Archer, talking to the crew, making threats, strategizing, a much sort of an updated Gorn. Then we get to Strange New Worlds, where the Gorn are reimagined as kind of an alien, I want to say alien homage. And so they have an egg cycle, someone gets impregnated by their saliva, from what I can tell from Strange New Worlds, and they produce little tiny eggs which grow up quickly to be these giant monsters that kind of look like the Halo monsters. The Halo, the Covenant, the big bad guys. And I remember thinking that at the time, I'm going, this is an alien ripoff, but the thing is they've got ships, they're strategic, they're brutal, they're murderous, they are, and funnily enough, they take the reference from TOS as Arena and show the lines of blood coming to where they've gathered people together. They're a ruthless villain, but they're sort of the Star Trek's equivalent of the werewolf or like a demon. They are just kind of basically evil, which is not a very Star Trek premise. In Arena was sort of shown that they're both captains, they're both just fighting for their survival. In A Mirror Darkly, it's sort of like I want to say an engineer who's working to learn about the USS Defiant. In Strange New Worlds takes them into alien area, into eggs in the back, monsters wanting to eat, slaughter, kill. And I'm hoping that changes later on, because they're meant to be the big bad of Strange New Worlds, and that's what they've geared them up to be. But when you have clear alien homages, and I think it played really well earlier, I think building up the fear of the Gorn was what Strange New Worlds did best. Building up that bloodlust, especially with La'an's background with them using humans as kind of like a bait to draw other people in to kill, I'm supposing, eat them or hatch them. There's sort of like the alien that we've always wanted in Star Trek, but taking a lot from another franchise. Now, they're not identical. They wear now big suits. They don't really look much like the Gorn of the 60s. Like even the Enterprise's Mirror Darkly episodes, there were some little hints at that Gorn from the 60s. This one, unless we see another version of the Gorn, this is not a Gorn from the 60s. It's very much a reptilian, big, cumbersome, broad-shouldered, I want to say more vicious-looking, more animalistic, which is a lot to say for a giant, rubbery, reptilian creature. But as a villain, which hasn't been seen much in Star Trek other than Strange New Worlds, which has had more episodes than any, we don't really see much. Another confusing side tangent is that in Star Trek Lower Decks, we see a Gorn wedding.
Gorn wedding! Get me out of here, implant! Nice try, Gorns!
Which looks exactly like a human wedding, except they all look like 60s Star Trek Gorn. And it's a funny scene, it's a funny moment, but continuity-wise, kind of makes no sense unless we get a version of the Gorn later on in Strange New Worlds that resembles the Gorn from Star Trek, the original series. Overall, though, the Gorn haven't been referenced very much within canon, and they've been built up to be the big bad of Strange New Worlds, ending Season 2's cliffhanger with potentially an all-out war with the Gorn. When we talk about their ships, the only ships that we've seen are in Strange New Worlds as far as I can remember, of which they are weird sort of natural shaped ships. They don't look as mechanical. They look like giant, weirdly shaped rocks floating in space. They communicate through light and sound between the two ships. So I'm presuming that these Gorn don't talk, or they don't. I don't really know. It's a really, really weird choice, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes in Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I have been Trek Trav. This is this week's Star Trek villains. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love you to subscribe if you feel so willing. Have a good night, and I'll see you next week when we discuss the Romulans.